Alright, so since it's Saturday and we have no trades to take, let's have a look at my strategy and let's have a look at some of the trades that I took at the beginning of this challenge and to see if I would still take them now. And by that I mean I'm gonna look at some of my losing trades. So, alright, so these are the rules. 15-minute chart, we are. 7k, that's what I do. When I started, I did 5k, but I do 7k now. And if I do succeed in getting a funded account, which I will, I might even do 10k. Um, so I can, when I get to break even. Well, anyway, alert at half of the profit, which I've been doing. So okay, let's just do a random thing here. Let's suppose that this is my stop loss and this is my take profit. I'm gonna have an alert here, and when the price reaches this point, I will move my stop loss to break even. And I will also take half of the position. So from this point, the position is, I locked in some profit, as you can see here. For 7k, we move 4k. So I locked in some profit, and the trade is now riskless, right? Okay, small stop loss at zones that make sense, and decent profit or open profit, right? So this has changed. I said a number of times I modified the rules is 2, and one of the rules that I modified is this one, because I just added can peak at the 1 hour time frame for good zones. And that's not really a change of rules, that's just something that helps me visualize the move better and the charts better. Oh, look at that, it's so cool. It's on the it's on the Google Docs. Anyway, and also this one used to be like open profit or a very big profit, like a 1 to 5 or a 1 to 6. But to be honest, guys, I'm on the 50-minute chart, and I again, no trades at night, which means I'm not gonna keep my trades open at night. So basically, I don't want huge take profits that are never gonna get hit, especially on the 50-minute chart. So I modified this rule to make, and also that brings a lot more break evens than winners. So I modified the rule to be a decent one, and to be like a 1 to 1.5 or 1 to 2 or 1 to 3, even a 1 to 4, but nothing crazy like a 1 to 7 or 1 to 10. That's just not realistic. Um, and also maximum 3 trades at once, not in a day, just at once. So does that coincide with the number of alerts I have available in the free version of TradingView? Possibly. But it also helps me, keep track of the trades, not overtrade, and just be present with every trade that I take to make sure that every trade I take is a decent trade. And whatever period you give yourself to test the strategy, I recommend writing number of times I modify the rules, because that prevents you from like strategy hopping and changing the strategy too much. This is gonna make you feel guilty if it goes up to like 10. I only have 2, and like one of them is just a reasonable take profit thing, especially in hindsight, it was a good move. And the other one is just, helping me visualize trades better. So, and I also changed from 5k to 7k, but that's not really a rule change, and that's just scaling, so it's fine. By the way, I'm trying the strategy on paper trading for now because on my actual money live account, I'm on the daily chart and I'm using a different strategy. I mean, not really, but I'm just using different money. So, and I don't want to use another real account with more money. So I'm just gonna do this on paper trading and then try and get a funded account. So So when do I actually take my trades? It's either support and resistance, supply and demand. Even though I don't really do that, I just mainly do support and resistance, and just trend lines. Just not even trend lines, just trends. However, well, okay, let me just give you an example of a trend first. Let me just move this here. So this trend here, right? This was the GBP USD, and it was, I guess, in a downtrend. So I took a trade here, and then I exited half of the position here and the rest here. Again, in a downtrend. This was a retracement going to up, so I was like, okay, it's retraced now, let's sell again. So sold here, and I made my money here and here. And at this point here, I'm at break even, right at this arrow here. So, and pay attention actually to the moves. So this move here, these candles happen at 3 p.m. right? these candles here, 2 p.m., 3 p.m. Sold here, profit, profit. Sold here, profit, stopped out. But this was break even. This move here again, 2 p.m., around 2 p.m., right? And I'm saying this because there's one more thing in my strategy that I'm not sure if I have to consider it a change, but I'm definitely gonna add it to the Google Docs, and I forgot to do it because I'm just testing it out. And it's that I've noticed that sometimes the trades in the London session just go the other way. Like I find a bias in London session, and most of the times I've taken a trade following my bias, I got stopped out quite quickly. So I'm thinking, I think sometimes London session is just in preparation to the New York session, and then the New York session is where the trade actually happens and we have more movement. Don't get me wrong though, we do have a lot of movement in London session, but I haven't been taking really any trades in that session the past few days because I've realized, oh, I'm just getting stopped out. And I might start taking them in the opposite direction, possibly, but more about that later. We're gonna back test this later. So as you can see here, I entered the trade here, 9 a.m., but until we didn't really have any good movement until like 2 p.m., 3 p.m. Same thing here around New York session and same thing here. Okay, so examples. This is just a support and resistance line that I will mark just to show you on that 1 hour. I guess it looks neater in a way. Okay, so this happened at 4 p.m. This bounce happened at 9 a.m. and this here also happened in the morning. So I didn't catch this trade, right? Because I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait for New York session to come. But this would be a good trade that I look at, possibly. Let me find some more examples. Okay, yeah, this is a trade that I took yesterday. This happened at 2:45 p.m. and this bounce. Okay, admittedly, yesterday was definitely a bit messy, but this bounce happened at like 2 p.m., 3 p.m. So London, New York session again. And the reason I don't want to set huge take profits is that, I mean, even here my take profit still didn't get hit, and I took the trade out because I was like, well, it was Friday night and I didn't want to hold it for a Sunday. But to be honest, again, we do have good moves in London session. Look, this whole move is a very good move, and it happened in London session, right? And it's also a move where my bias would have been correct because my bias probably would have been this zone here, and I would have entered the trade. But I've noticed that it happens very, very often that this is my bias, and during London session, it goes the other way, right? To reach some kind of other zone. And then maybe this could have been my bias around, this could have been another one of my biases, possibly. Even though it's quite a small zone, so I'm not really a big fan of that. But it is a zone nonetheless, right? This could have been another one of my bias. But no, it just went down, and that's fine. We're gonna find some losing trades now, and we're just gonna see. But this was my strategy anyway. Let me see if I can find some more examples. I think I took, right, yeah, okay. So this trade, I took this trade. And so for the day, this was London session, went down. Here it was still too early for me to enter trade because it was still 10 p.m. even though we were at the zone, and also I was looking for it to go further down into the zone. So I waited and waited, then we went back up, and then I waited again. We went in here, and then here is New York session. I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy now because I was seeing some blue candles, right? So I was like, let's buy. And then I exited here for a decent profit, right? So this is an example of just a very, very simple support and resistance. Again, as I was saying, it can be much easier to visualize on the 1 hour chart. So that's why I do it. But my entries are definitely on the 15-minute chart, right? That's the chart I use to trade. So I guess I didn't really violate that rule. Okay. So this was another example, and then this was also another example. We bounced here, during the New York session. Again, just simple, support and resistance trades. Stop above the zone or whatever the last candle is, and then profit down at the next zone. I didn't have the zone at the time of this trade, so I didn't really. Anyway, so I will find some losing trades that I took in the last few days, and I had quite a lot of those. Because as I'm refining the strategy as I go, I just took a lot of losing trades before realizing this kind of London session thing. So I just, um, you know, I'm just gonna find some losing trades and put them up on the chart and see if I would still take them today or what I would do today. And I don't know if this is gonna be the next video or this one. Probably. It depends how long it is, but we'll see. So